There are two data here. One is GDP growth rate and the one is GDP world average. Now let us come to GDP growth rate. Now what is the GDP growth rate? It is basically giving you the growth rate of the GDP. You know what is GDP? It is a gross domestic product. And it is giving you the growth rate of how many data points here? Let me see. 30 countries. So you can see that it gives you the GDP growth rate of 30 countries from the year 2001 till 2018. Now, based on that, I want to find out what is the world GDP growth rate. So, you know, most of the data like this is done by economists. So they've also calculated out of this 30 sample, they've also calculated the world GDP growth rate, but they have calculated only till 2015. It takes time. The last recorded GDP world average was 2.8573. It's the growth rate. It's a percentage actually. It is not $1 trillion or $1 billion. So the last recorded world growth rate, GDP, was 2.8573. 2.8573. Whereas the sample growth rate of 30 countries is given. Now, the question before you is, what is the GDP growth rate in 2018? Is it similar to the world growth rate, or it has increased, or it has decreased? What kind of test you will do here? No, this is what MIS data is. This is for you. This is a MIS data. And now you have to do this analysis. Aapke CEO ne bola ki yaar, tell me, you guys have done it's a World Bank or IMF fund. He says ki the last recorded world GDP growth rate was 2.8573. Now I have data till 2018 of 30 countries. I just want to know ki what is the overall world GDP growth rate in 2018? Is it more or is it less than 2015? So, how will you do it? What kind of test will you do? Any response? Attempt to karo aap.
Sir, for prediction, I think regression equation is required.
Okay. Any other response? मैं तब तक आपका एक attendance का ले लेता हूँ. Don't vacate the class. Any other response?
Sir, it is maybe greater, maybe less, but not similar.
That is the question. Is it similar or it is not similar? Suppose we are asking you to, suppose I am saying that predict in 2018 or 19 or 20 or 22, 25, 26, 2030. Then you are absolutely right. It is because same data can be interpreted in multiple ways. It is a regression. You can easily create a regression equation out of this. But the question is it similar to the last recorded average? And remember,
sir, for similar, dissimilar, we will use chi-square test. For similar, dissimilar.
See, this is the average. This is the world average, 2.8573. So what is given here? In the world of statistics, population mean is given 2.8573. And you have to tell whether 2018 is similar to 2015 or not. So I am comparing the sample of 2018 with the world population average. So when it happens like this, it is called a one sample t-test. because you have only one sample, which is 2018. And that you are comparing with the world population. And the world, don't go by the world population like human population, world population of the GDP average, that is 2015. आप ये 2018 को compare करोगे 2008-15 से. So, you know, it is very easy for anybody who is a novice. वो क्या करेगा, सर इसमें क्या है, मैं ये 30 डेटा है, इसको ऐड करके डिवाइड बाय 30 कर दो तो मेरे को एवरेज आ जाएगा 2018 का. बट दैट इज नॉट द एवरेज, दैट इज द सैंपल एवरेज. दैट सैंपल एवरेज इज नॉट द पॉपुलेशन एवरेज. सो यू विल कैलकुलेट द सैंपल एवरेज and you have to compare that with the population average. And what is the population average? The population average is already given 2015 का 2.8.73. So आपको ये sample average को compare करना है population average के साथ with 95% confidence interval. So you have only one sample, which is 2018, and you have given आपको एक average दिया हुआ है world का, not world, population average. And when you compare one sample with the population mean, that is called a one sample t-test. Now, when you look at this data, थोड़ा नीचे करना पड़ेगा, I can't click that. When you click that, go to the data analysis. आप इसको just scroll down करो and look at the t-test. You have t paired sample for means, two sample assuming equal variance, two sample meaning assuming unequal variance, and then you have a z test. आपके तीन टाइप के टी टेस्ट है, इसमें वन सैंपल टी टेस्ट तो कहीं पे है ही नहीं. आई थिंक किसी का म्यूट नहीं है. सो यू नो टी टेस्ट डजंट इन द एक्सेल, टी टेस्ट डजंट गिव यू वन सैंपल टी टेस्ट, इट ओनली गिव्स यू टू सैंपल टी टेस्ट. सो यू हैव टू क्रिएट वन सैंपल टी टेस्ट एनवायरमेंट out of it by creating a data for two samples and then using two sample paired two sample for means. Because one sample t-test is not there. So how we do it? We created a dummy data because we need two samples. Why we need two samples? Because this में है ही नहीं. Let me see किसके mic से आवाज आ रही है. राज पाठक. मैंने आपको थोड़ा म्यूट कर दिया राज, because your voice, your mic was giving a lot of sound. So you go to the dummy and create 0, because t-test doesn't have has the Excel doesn't have that. So I create one dummy variable here, and now I go to the solution. Data, just I'm doing it very slowly. Data analysis, and I will check t-test में आ जाता हूँ. I will take t-test two sample assuming equal के unequal. It is safer to do unequal variances. Two sample assuming unequal variances. I will do that. Okay. Variable range 1. Variable range 2. What is variable range 1? My 2018 data. What is variable range 2? The dummy data. This is the dummy variable that I have created. Dummy data. Now what is the hypothesized mean difference? Hypothesized mean difference, I am assuming that because I have created a dummy variable, and the world population data is 2.873. Let me see. How much is the world population? 2015 ka. This is the hypothesized mean difference, 2.857. Bring the dummy data and that. Label, of course, I'll click yes. Then I will click. And this is my answer. Now, have you got this answer? Once you got this answer, you can delete the dummy data. Delete the dummy column. And then This is very simple. What is my T stat? What is my T stat? 0.43. What is my T calculated? What is my T calculated? T
Sorry,
critical.
sir, for interruption. Sir, once more, sir, एक बार repeat कर दें, sir, please.
Yeah, sure. You create a dummy data basically because आपका 2 टेस्ट है ही नहीं, उसमें सिंगल टेस्ट है ही नहीं. Excel only has 2 tests in that formula, so you have to create a dummy with data. Go to the data column, data analysis, click to sample assuming unequal variances. Okay. Variable range 1 is 2018. Variable range 2 is dummy data. The average world population mean average given to is 2.857. So the hypothesized mean difference is 2.857 between the dummy data and the world data. Labels yes, okay, and this is the answer. So here my T stat is 0.43 and T critical is 2.045. So when T stat is less than T critical, what do I do? What do I do? This is my T stat is nothing but T calculated, by the way. So obviously, what do I do? You forgot again, abhi to kya tha thodi der pehle? Accept null hypothesis. Also look at the P value. P is much greater than 0.05 for both single tail and double tail. So again, accept null hypothesis, which says, what does it say? This is what it says, correct? Null hypothesis. It is same as 2015. So whatever is the 2018 world GDP mean, it is similar.